What's going on, guys? Today is day number 6. A little bit late because I had to do some edits and just got back from traveling. But today, guys, we have a special guest. We got to interview Greg of Starting Up, which I will put a link to his channel down in the description. And today, guys, specifically, we talk all things merch and our outlook on the next month, couple months, and even the next year or two. So I hope you guys enjoy this interview. We'll put a link again to his YouTube channel in the description, along with the Facebook group and also all the tools that we mention or are using for our merch by Amazon businesses. Hit the like button if you guys like this type of content. Give me a comment down below and tell me one takeaway or one learning lesson. And of course, guys, hit the subscribe button to see the rest of this 30-day merch focus 30 period. Cheers. Cool. What's going on, Greg? How are you?
How's it going, Ben? Yeah, really good, thanks.
Good stuff.
Caught up.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time to come on and just kind of talk about your experience, and especially with merch and just e-commerce in general. So I guess kind of like the first question, I've been following you for maybe the last month or so on YouTube and just kind of seeing where you're at. And I think it's funny because you just hit tier 500. Was it like 2 or 3 weeks ago? Or
it was in the last couple of weeks, yeah, quite recently.
Yeah, and I think, I'm kind of at the same level, just hit tier 500, I think like maybe last month. So yeah, it's just kind of cool to actually like see someone that's on similar kind of timeline with merch and just making it happen. So I guess my first kind of question for you is, how did you actually find out about like Amazon's merch program in the first place? Was there someone that introduced you to it, or yeah?
I'll just start off by saying like thanks for asking for this, setting this up. Like I've been meaning to do collabs for a long time, and it's good to have like a little push forward with it. So thanks for getting in touch. Yeah. Amazon merch. So I've had my YouTube channel been running for about 2 years now, just over 2 years. It first started off as like I want to learn how to make money in new crazy ways, So I made this channel and I was documenting different things I was exploring, and I got a little bit of a following just trying random things on the internet. And through that following on YouTube, one of my followers actually suggested Amazon merch. So this was it's been like 15, 16 months ago. They told me to check it out.
Oh, nice.
Back in 2016, I think it would have been. So at the time I was looking at, I think my main focus at that point in time was Shopify. And I was maybe looking into doing freelance work because I'm a freelancer and that sort of stuff. But I was having various success. So I got a heads up about Amazon merch about 15 months ago. I applied and it took me 13 months to get approved.
Wow, that's crazy.
So, when I first applied, I was this hungry, guy new to the e-commerce and the entrepreneurial sort of world, and I wanted to find any ways of making money. And my subscriber was like, my friends are making thousands of dollars every month using Amazon merch, you've got to apply for it. So I was like, oh my God, huge. I was really excited about it. Applied, thinking I'm going to make so much money on Amazon merch, and then I just forgot about it. A couple of times I forgot about it. I did more and more things with Shopify, affiliate marketing, and I actually became self-sufficient through other means, through Shopify affiliate marketing, and YouTube ad revenue. And then about 5 months ago, I got an email from Amazon saying, "Hey, sorry for the wait. We've had a big backlog, reasons X, Y, and Z, but you're now on the program." And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So the initial hunger and stuff had gone, but I was like, I've been given this place on this program that it's obviously very competitive to get on. I may as well take advantage of it and see if there's any potential for this here.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's funny because now a lot of the groups, I see people are, everyone's kind of all over the place, but people are applying and it's a week later, 3 days later, and they're just in, and it's crazy. So I don't know if Amazon's just kind of figured it out and now they've streamlined the application process or what it is, but I think for me it took a month maybe, but it wasn't too bad. So I was fairly lucky, I've got to say.
Yeah,
that's funny. Yeah, so you got accepted, and then now when you first heard about it, I just want to back up. Were you still working a full-time job, or had you kind of already moved on and just gone on to full-time on Shopify and some of the other ventures that you had?
Oh no, I was still very much 9-to-5 job reliant. I was working. I wouldn't say it was a full-time job. I just moved to Canada, so I started this YouTube channel up the week that I moved to Canada to go backpacking and traveling. So I just moved to Canada.
Awesome.
I had no idea when I moved there. Really. I
sure.
Really So I pretty much ended up getting a 9-to-5 job like straight away as soon as I got to Canada. So yeah, I was doing all that other stuff in a new country. Like, you know, I had all the stresses and strains of being somewhere new, and in addition to that, I was doing the YouTube channel and exploring entrepreneurship at the same time. So I mentioned just before this started that it was very, very long days and like a lot of hard hustle when I first started.
Yeah, it's a lot. It seems it's like a lot of experimentation, even with merch. I mean, it's, you know, just trying different things and seeing what works, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think with anything, like, you're going to be good at some stuff and bad at other stuff, and you know, so you can hear stories of where people are succeeding with X, Y, and Z, but it's only when you try things out yourself and you learn what your skills are that you're going to learn what works for you and what you need to focus on and what is not really going to be working for you in the future.
Do you remember what the first dollar was that you made online? Was it something you sold, or I would assume, but do you remember what it was from?
I think it was probably when I sold something off Shopify, but it was probably something that a friend or a family bought from one of my Shopify stores.
Hey, it still counts.
Yeah, you know, like a good luck, like get started sort of.
Totally.
I think the first real bit of income that I made online was probably through affiliate marketing through YouTube. So I'm pretty good with this on my channel. You know, when I'm talking about things I'm using, so at the time I was using Shopify,
right,
and I'm Amazon merch. I talk about like products and if they work for me. So I think my first revenue was probably a Shopify affiliate marketing referral. So I was talking about I've heard about Shopify. It's great. I'm trying it for myself. People pique someone else's interest. They try to use my affiliate link, and I made some affiliate revenue through that.
That's awesome, man. Very cool. So I guess kind of, going off the theme of what I'm doing right now with just focusing on merch by Amazon, I guess I'm going to take a little bit more of a deep dive on there. Just add a few questions on like your experience and kind of what your thought process is. So you got accepted it was a few months back, and then it seems like you've tiered up pretty quickly to tier 500.
Yeah.
Right?
So I actually got accepted, I think it was January this year. So we're in June. But to be honest, like I said, I had so much other things on my plate at the time. I didn't really give it that much attention.
Yeah.
Like I was doing like things. So I think I maybe uploaded like 5 or 6 designs
right.
that I had around from a previous t-shirt store that I'd set up in the past. I just uploaded them and then I left it, to be honest with you, and did other things. So it's been but then I went back after like a month or two, and I was like, I checked on my shirts, and I'd made sales. I
think I saw your YouTube video. You were about to go on and be a little upset at Amazon and the platform, and then you checked in and had like 2 sales out of the blue, it looks like.
Yeah, you know, and I've been looking into this like e-commerce, online entrepreneurship stuff for a long time, and being able to make money online without having to put a ton of time and effort into driving traffic, getting attention, driving interest, like just by putting something on there, leaving it and coming back, like it blew my mind. So that was my sort of first taste of Amazon merch.
Yeah.
And then after that realization, I really started to put more attention in and start to sort of ramp up my efforts with it.
Totally. Okay, so now do you do all the designs? I know you did at least your first few yourself, but do you still do all of your designs yourself, or have you actually gone and hired and outsourced a designer? Or is it kind of a mix of the two?
Yeah, so I've just changed my strategy as I've reached tier 500, as you just explained, and I now have a much higher threshold of the amount of designs I can upload and the amount I can upload every day. So up until 500, it was mainly me doing my own designs. I've got a background in multimedia, and I used to be really into photography, so I used Photoshop a lot, so I thought I could cobble some designs up myself. So up until I got tiered up to tier 500, I'd say it was probably 80-85% me, and then like 15% designer, like an external designer, because even though I knew I could do the work myself, I wanted to test out how reliable designers can be, how I can go about recruiting designers, just so when I needed to do it later on, I had those skills and some connections already built up. So up until 500, it was mainly me, and then since I reached 500 like a week or so ago, I've really ramped up my focus on outsourcing things.
It's awesome.
At the moment, I'm testing out 4 designers at the same time, looking to sort of find people I can rely on in the future and have at the same time simultaneously making designs for me.
Yeah. That's cool. Now, did you, I actually just literally went through the same process of posting jobs. Did you just find them on Upwork, or I know there's a lot of other job boards. Is there one that, was the best for you?
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear what you hear after I tell you how I've been going about it. But yeah, so my initial approach was Fiverr. That was just the most popular website I knew about. It was a friend of mine. Tried Fiverr. I found a relatively good designer. I think he was in the Philippines. He did designs for $5. A lot of the other designers I tried were just, if it was just a $5 design I was asking for, the quality I was getting back was subpar.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I realised with Fiverr there was a minimum really of $5 you could spend to get a design, but if you wanted a good quality, it was going to have to be a lot higher than that. And then I was following the guy, you may have heard of him yourself, I follow a guy on YouTube and Instagram called RJ Martinez.
Of course, yeah.
So I actually dropped him a DM in Instagram and said, hey man, like I'm looking to start outsourcing, who do you use to do that? He told me about, I think it's called onlinejobs.ph,
yeah.
Philippine freelance store. So he put me in that direction. I went on there, put a job posting up, like went to bed, woke up the next day and had like 20, 30 applications for this job. But it was only at that point where I got people applying to take my job on that I realised there's like a $60, $70 flat rate to be able to contact those people and actually recruit them onto a team.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little pricey on there.
Yeah, I was still early stage. Like I told you, I was tier 100 experimenting, so I wasn't prepared to pay $80 up front before I'd even had someone do any work for me. And then I think I just did a little Googling and I found a thread on a forum that said, let's try Upwork. And it had like this big draft job proposal that you could copy and paste and just tweak it to your need, your situation. So I did that and I basically wrote this job post saying I'm looking for people for $3 a design. I just need 10 designs now. It could eventually scale up to be, 40 a month or 50 a month. And I thought I'd try my luck on Upwork. It was $3 a day. And I've been using Upwork ever since. So I initially found a really reliable designer. I was paying her $3 a design. And that was the person I was using when I said 85% myself, 15% someone else at tier 100 level. Now I've gone back to using Upwork. I made a new job proposal and I'm hiring people at $2.50 a design. And I've got 4 designers on Upwork working for me at $2.50 a pop.
Nice.
I'm pretty happy with that price.
That's really good.
Depending on the pricing strategy, if you sell it like 2 shirts, you're definitely making that money back.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, that's what I'm using. How about yourself?
Yeah, so super similar. I did, I knew the 3 that I kind of focused on were Upwork and then onlinejobs.ph. I'd heard a lot about as well. And I'd actually paid for, I think it's like like you said, $80 or $100 a month. So it's a little pricey, but I heard that the quality was super good. So I ended up actually paying for that membership a few months ago, but I didn't actually use it I posted a job, I didn't end up hiring anyone from it. And so I just contacted them and asked if they'd let me use it this month, which fortunately they were nice enough to do. So I posted a job on there, but I didn't get a lot of people I was really impressed with. So I posted the exact same job listing on there and also Upwork. And Upwork, I got like 25 people that sent in proposals in the first 12 hours, which I was honestly pretty shocked that it was so quick, but a lot of them you can kind of just toss out, unfortunately. Like they're either way too high on the rate that they want or they're just not what you're looking for. But I did end up finding one person through there that I did a test period with, so I just finished that and I was honestly really, really impressed with the designs. And I kind of created a template that I lay out for it, but I did essentially like a test period of 5 designs with him for $5 each. And then, essentially we've now negotiated a bulk deal. So I think he's doing the first 100 shirts at about $2.75, and then we're going to go up to $3 after that, which I feel like is fair for, again, like $2.50 was kind of the goal price-wise, but I feel like what the quality that he's given me, I'm not upset with it. And like you kind of mentioned, the way I look at it is, all the designs are essentially these assets that you have and you can use, down the road. And if you just sell 1 or 2 1 or 2 shirts with each one, like it more than covers the cost. So I think it's totally worth it. So,
Sure,
yeah.
It's interesting they've kind of settled on Upwork as the way to go, though.
Yeah, no, it's online jobs.ph. I'm not gonna lie, I thought that it was gonna be the route, but yeah, Upwork ended up working pretty well. So, yeah, let's see. I think just a few other things. Oh yeah, so now you have your designer and are you gonna just stick with one of those four, or are you going just what's kind of your plan with that?
So one of the setbacks or the limitations of using Upwork I found is I want design straight away because I've just done my research, my trend research, and my keyword research. I've got a fresh set of ideas, and I'd send ideas to the designer and want them back, pretty quick. But you have to understand that they've got different clients they're juggling, and they've got their life that they're living. So the turnaround time that you're probably going to want isn't going to be as quick as it's going to be. So I figured if I continuously have at least 3 or 4, and I'm constantly giving each of them different work, then I'm going to have designs coming in at a constant stream, from left, right, and centre.
Right.
So I figured, just spread it, diversifying. I could probably still spend the same amount of money, but just split it across different designers, and just make sure that there's not that huge delay between me having an idea and me uploading designs. Yeah.
It's awesome. Cool.
Yeah. I reckon just look into it yourself. I think that's the way to go.
Totally. Yeah, it's I think the other thing now that I'm trying to focus on a little bit more is streamlining the processes in general, and just, I'm not personally good at designing, so just trying to hand that process off, and so I can focus kind of on the research side of it. Are you going to continue doing designs, or are you kind of trying to do something similar and, automate the process a little bit more, or what's kind of your overall, I guess, strategy as far as that goes?
I want really to focus most of my efforts on the research and the uploading side of things. So finding the keywords I want to target, finding the designs I want to use as inspiration, and uploading, based on the research. I probably am going to aim, in an ideal world, at being around 15%, 10% me designs, and then the rest of the designers. And with the designs I do moving forward, I want to find ways to speed that up, because previously I've been doing it manually or in Photoshop and from scratch. But there's tons of tools out there that you can use to speed things up. You probably heard of Canva.
Sure.
I use a tool called Merchant Format to do a lot of my research, and they've just added a design tool.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that. I just got Merchant Former a few weeks ago, and it was last week literally, and I've just been using that thing like crazy. I just started using kind of the design portion. Have you been using it a lot and had some success, or?
I used it for the first time yesterday.
Okay.
Yesterday I was using it, and I designed like 30, 40 designs in about an hour or an hour and a half.
Oh yeah, that's solid.
Yeah. So it's a much quicker process than using Photoshop. I mean, they're just simple text designs, and I just changed fonts and changed the layout of the fonts and stuff, so it wasn't completely fresh designs every time, but it's a much quicker. The types of designs I want to do in-house is going to be the simple stuff I can smash out quickly. So for that, it's going to be the perfect tool for me.
Cool. For the sake of time, I think the last two kind of questions that have been burning on my mind for merch are, as far as kind of talking about, I know everyone has a little different strategies, but I've been thinking a lot about kind of the brand and the brand name that you put. And I know you've talked about it in some of your other videos, but this is going to kind of play into the next question about what your longer term goal is. But with merch specifically now, when you build the listings, are you doing different brand names for all your different, categories, or every single shirt, or what's that actually look like for you?
Yeah. So when I first started, I was using Starting Gun as a brand name. I hadn't done any research into merch. It was just complete rookie.
Right.
I was making sales just using Starting Gun. I don't know if it was luck or it doesn't make that much of a difference, but I made some sales. But then I kind of, about a month ago, I found a niche where there was only like 50, 60 shirts in it, and I thought, this is a niche I'm going to target. Not much competition. And I learned through making fresh designs for that niche that the brand name is actually quite important. If you've got a specific keyword you want to target, putting that in the brand name can really get you higher up on the list.
Interesting. Yeah.
So ever since I realized that, I've been including unique brand names for not for every shirt I design, but for every niche I'm targeting. I'll put the keyword in the brand name and in the title as well.
Got you. But like, let's say you have like, 5 shirts in the dog niche. Are you doing, dog t-shirts as your brand? Or are you going to do like slightly different brand name for each dog shirt that you have?
So if I'm just targeting a general niche like dog t-shirts, I'll put dog t-shirts for every shirt that I'm doing. It's just a general design for the dog niche. I've got design 1, design 2. They're both going to be under the same brand name, and I'll just name the shirts differently. But if I'm doing like golden doodle t-shirts, Labrador t-shirts, and I'm targeting that keyword, I'll put that as the brand name. So it all depends on how specific my keyword targeting is.
Awesome.
So I'm doing a very keyword-driven strategy.
Yeah.
And it just depends on how narrow the keyword is I'm targeting.
It's cool. And then, so I guess kind of going off of that, and this is again going back to the kind of your future vision here, but, hopefully merch keeps going for us and keeps pushing and, has some more success. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But, do you plan on kind of taking the shirts that you have on merch and building those or building a brand presence, off of merch? I don't see a ton of people that have really talked about that or have done that yet, but that's one of the things that's kind of been burning in the back of my mind is seeing what sells on Amazon with the organic traffic or, maybe some, minimal paid ads, and then taking those designs and, creating maybe a branded version on a Shopify store where you can actually own that customer data. And I think in some cases even get better margins selling products yourself.
Yeah. It's definitely something I'm interested in. I always talk about the value of having a brand, having customer details yourself, email lists. I haven't stumbled upon that golden niche yet, but would give me enough incentive to go away and do a whole brand around it. If I did, if that happened to me, I'm completely open to the idea of doing that. I'm just very aware that there's not many. From so far, what I found is there's not much unique niches so far on Amazon merch. Everything I stumble upon has a lot of competition already, so I'd have to find a niche that has little competition, and I'm selling shirts like hotcakes, like as soon as I start blogging, okay, this is a really promising up and coming niche, and then I go off. But if it's a niche that already exists and I'm just doing a little my unique spin on it, I'm probably not going to put the time and effort into doing, because there's probably already going to be 1,000,001
sure.
brands that are targeted niche. So it all depends on what I find through research and if there's enough promise there. But I think my first strategy is going to be when I really start to learn what sells and I'm getting shirts that are making a lot of sales, like 10, 20, 30, taking those designs and putting them onto different print-on-demand platforms, so Etsy, Zazzle, Redbubble. So that's going to be my next stage of going off Amazon and spreading out.
Right.
Doing one on Amazon and putting it on other platforms. And then, like you said, if I do find that needle in the haystack of a really up-and-coming niche that's promising, I might go away and build a whole brand around that niche.
It's awesome. Cool. Good stuff.
Cool. What's your perspective on that? What are you thinking long-term with Amazon?
I think I'm very optimistic right now on the merch platform, and you touched on it a little bit earlier, but I like that with Amazon, there's already the traffic there. You have the buyers, which is why so many people have had success, either with merch or with selling, private label or whatever it is. So I think that one of the really cool things that I've noticed is just with t-shirts specifically, you can throw t-shirt designs up there. I'm not talking throwing them up all willy-nilly, obviously you're putting in keywords and optimizing, but you can use that organic traffic to your advantage and see kind of what designs sell and what, lose it? I might have lost it. It's okay. But anyway, and seeing kind of what niches are popular, and then taking that data and kind of your experience with that. I'm so sorry about this.
What's up?
Sorry, it froze up. Anyway, but taking kind of that experience and then taking that offline and potentially creating your own branded store or something. So I think same as you, it's something I'm going to look at in the future, but right now, again, I'm just trying to keep it simple, focus on Amazon as the platform and not worry too much about anything else, any other shiny objects. So that's kind of my outlook at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's so important, just focusing on one thing at a time. And at the moment, I'm just focusing on mastering and really nailing down merch.
Yeah.
When I get
It's tough though. I mean, it's tough. You know how it is, like, especially with all the other, there's Shopify, there's all the other platforms and different business models, and just trying to really dial in. And that's kind of why I wanted to go all in for a 30-day period, with merch, and just focus and say like, okay, I'm going to focus just on this, and hopefully I'll get some opportunities that come out of it and take those, and then you can grow from there. I'm sure there's other stuff down the road that'll come out of it. So, yeah.
Well, as we're starting to talk about you, I'm going to hijack your interview now and ask you a question on my channel, because I'm really interested to talk to someone that's new to merch and find their experiences and their thoughts behind it. So, just started mentioning why you started to use merch and that sort of thing. So, can you tell people watching this, because I'm going to use this on my channel too, how long you've been using merch, why you decided to go to use merch? And I think you mentioned recently you got bored in and you're doing a challenge, so if you can talk about that too and explain what that is, I'll be interested to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I got approved in September of 2017, so a few months back, and kind of the same, basic story. I didn't really take it too serious at first. I just threw up, a few random designs that I'd made, and I ended up getting one sale in September, and I thought, okay, that's cool, but it was, 9 cents was my royalty. So it wasn't like anything to go crazy about, but still, I mean, it's a sale's a sale. I still get excited every time I see a number blip up. So, then I just kind of casually over the next month threw up a few more designs and ended up getting rotated out of tier 10 and into 25. And then fortunately, I think what really got me excited and gave me some momentum was we were heading into fourth quarter. And so obviously, Christmas and the holidays and all of that stuff.
Right.
Yeah. And so, I think I got a little bit, not lucky, but with my timing, it worked perfectly for me just to see the business model would work. So I uploaded, I think I maxed out my 25 design spots. And then in December, I did 24 shirts. Yeah, and I only had 25 designs live or something like that. So I was like, okay, what was that?
It's really good for someone new to the platform.
Yeah, so I was excited. I was like, oh wow, is this going to be like every month? I was excited. I should have known better. It was, Christmas time, but still, it got me kind of going, and I think that was super helpful. And so I started kind of the same as you, just putting a little bit more time into it, and not going overboard, but just I was doing designs myself. I was researching and kind of throwing up random things, but I didn't use any tools really. And I was just using, Canva to create designs, and then most of them were simple text-based designs. And that kind of got me to tier 100. And then I started paying for graphics. So I'd buy some of the premium designs on Canva and just some other vector designs that I'd find for a few dollars here and there. And putting things together, and started getting a little bit smarter with my keyword research. And I think now I checked it last night or this morning, I was at 86 sales total. So it's, and I got moved up to tier 500 off of that after I finished uploading. I was at 99 or 100 designs, and I got moved up. So, I got moved up to tier 500 just a few weeks ago. And that was where I kind of said, okay, I think I should take this a little bit more seriously. I'm not good at designing, but I see all these other people that, again, you mentioned RJ, and there's a bunch of other big names kind of in the merch space, and his page and his channel has been super helpful. So just learning from what he's doing and what's been working, I've taken that stuff and just kind of applied it and put my own spin on it. So I'm at a very similar stage to you right now with just hiring a designer to work with me, and just trying to learn, go deep dive on the process and figure out all the tools and get kind of the systems in place. So, yeah.
It sounds like you've been on there for a few more months than me. So you got accepted in September 2017.
Yeah.
It was January 2018 for me. I think I'm just coming over. I think I'm mid-40 for sales at the moment. So you've got a bit of a lead on me, but I didn't get December and that November boost that you had.
I know, yeah. I'm pumped for this Christmas season. This is going to be nuts.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think because I came in January 2018, I started joining all of the groups, like you said, RJ Martinez Facebook group and other Facebook groups, and I was seeing all these stories of how well people did in December 2017. So I'm super stoked about 2018, but at the same time, I'm well aware that Amazon have opened the floodgates.
Right.
It's a lot quicker and easier to get accepted onto Amazon. So I'm wondering if there's going to be some what am I trying to say? Some balance there, like
throttling or anything like that.
A lot more competition, so will sales not be as good as they were in 2017? Like, who knows?
Who knows? I'm still hopeful though. I'm pretty optimistic about it, and I think that the Amazon's such a big space and such a big platform, and if you can create like unique content and come out with just cool designs that resonate with people, I think that still can set you apart. And there's always going to be kind of new trends and new things that are going on. So I think there's always going to be opportunities, but yeah, it's definitely getting more saturated as far as, like you said, when we talked about earlier, 2 weeks or 3 days and you're approved now versus it took you 13 months or whatever it took. So definitely changing.
Crazy amount of time to get accepted.
Yeah.
So you're currently, I think you said you sold 87 shirts now?
Yeah, it's like 86 or 87. I have a few on Etsy and eBay, and those, every once in a while I get something on there, but I haven't been doing, anything else as far as like traffic or whatever. It's just been uploading and getting the organic sales.
Oh yeah. Same with me. Up until this point, I've done no external marketing, no Amazon ads, no ads on Facebook or Instagram or anything. So I think it is like interesting for people to know just how like much potential there is here. There's just free customers. You don't have to do any of that advertising, and I'm quite interested. I think it's something I'm going to explore now that I'm starting to see just natural sales on Amazon. How much I can ramp this up with paid advertising? Is there potential to on Instagram or through Facebook and then drive more sales every month? Is that anything you've considered yet? Or?
Yeah, it's I've seen a lot of people that were posting about AMS. Like, I think that's Amazon's advertising platform. I don't know really what the difference is between that actually and the Seller Central advertising platform, but I've seen some people that were experimenting with that, and it seems like they had some success, but I've heard that that's getting kind of pulled away. So I guess to answer your question, I think that I've definitely considered the Facebook ads and running traffic from those over to Amazon and potentially some Instagram ones too. I'm just kind of waiting to see, are the margins good enough to even warrant doing that? Obviously, if you're in it for the long-term game and you're going to take a loss up front, but it's going to drop your BSR for, let's say like an evergreen shirt, I think it could be worth it. So yeah, I think it's something, again, kind of like, I'm definitely going to experiment with it in the future. I haven't reached that stage yet, but that's probably, in the next 2 months or 3 months or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's so important, like you're sort of alluding to now, is taking it step by step and not running before you can walk, and just mastering things and
absolutely
with a realistic sort of expectation.
Yeah, and I think you have to do that because it's, there's so much information, there's, so many channels and people to follow, and not just for merch, but for anything in the e-commerce space. And the more you get into it, the more you get targeted by all these other strategies and channels. And so I think one of the things that's really helped me is a principle, I guess, called just-in-time learning, which I picked up, I think, from a private label seller who has a big podcast I used to listen to. And he was just talking about, if you don't need to learn like steps 5, 6, 7, and 8 right now. You only need to learn, if you're at stage 1, you just need to learn stage 2 and then execute, and then learn stage 3 and execute. And so I think that's what I've kind of been trying to focus on is, taking it one step at a time and not trying to get like too out of the box and focus on all these different things.
Yeah,
so
I think that's definitely the right way to approach this and approach anything in life. Yeah, so I agree with you completely there.
Yeah.
I've got one question on Amazon merch before we move on.
Totally.
What tools are you using in your day-to-day workflow around Amazon merch at the moment?
Yeah, so again, like trying to keep it fairly simple. So right now I don't use too much. I use, so I already had Jungle Scout. Are you familiar with Jungle Scout?
I've heard of it. It's popular with Amazon FBAs with Jungle Scout.
Yeah, so it's more of a tool for, I guess, private labelers and, people using like just not the merch platform, but I already had it and it was kind of a one-time paid platform. So at least for the Chrome extension. So I use that. That just pulls, and there's, I think, a free version called Unicorn Smasher, which Yeah, I don't think it's as accurate necessarily, but they're all estimations anyway. But the thing I like about it is that you can go and it just, if I, let's say, go and find dog shirts, or maybe I'm in a subcategory of dog shirts, I can go in there and just get like a rough idea of the BSR and how it's selling. And then it also has a little tool that's kind of, it pulls all the associated keywords from that page, your search results. And so I use that quite a bit. And then obviously the big one, we already talked about it, but Merch Informer. And I just got into that. Yeah, it's amazing. Like I got into it on the 3-day like free trial period or whatever, and I was pretty blown away. I was like, wow, this is a lot of stuff. I think I'm doing the $19.99 a month level, so like the second level up. But I was like shocked. I was like, wow, this is a lot of tool set, like a big toolkit for not too much money. So I think it's totally worth it, and it's probably at this point kind of a necessity, especially once you get to like tier 500 and beyond.
I'm definitely becoming more and more of a Merch Informer fanboy as time goes on. The more I use it, like I did some videos a few months ago on it, but that was back when I really first sort of got into Amazon Merch. But as I'm using it more now, I'm loving it more, and I think I'm going to have to do some more videos in the future because it's really helping me in what I'm doing. And obviously, you sort of preach it for it as well. Little thing that happened with me, I actually cancelled my subscription with it maybe a month or so ago. Something happened that my card expired and I had to wait for a new one to be sent. So my subscription got cancelled, and they sent me an email like about a week in or something trying to get me back. So I'm now on a $9.99 a month payment plan.
Ooh, nice.
The same pieces I was getting for $19.99. So
wow.
Little tip out there, if they want to try and bring costs down, they might be able to get the same thing that I got there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to finish off on Amazon Merch now, but I just want to know, like, would you recommend it for people watching this video, for my followers? Has it been a pleasant experience for you? Or
yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think the big things are there's so little overhead. You can literally, once you request an invitation and get accepted, you can literally just do all the designs yourself. And it's, in my opinion, like just a really easy way to get selling online if you don't have a lot of experience with it, or even if you do. I mean, there's so many things that you can learn and kind of test and experiment with, and there are people that are having success with it. So I think the biggest thing is like anything else, learning from those guys what's working, what's not, and then obviously experimenting yourself. And so yeah, I'm still super optimistic on the platform, and definitely gonna continue kind of making a big push for the next 30 days and hopefully beyond, and just see what happens. And I think the one last thing I'll just say on that is it's an experiment. So at the end of the day, if you decide, 2, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months goes by and it's not something that you enjoy anymore, it's not like you're committing to it forever. You don't have any upfront like overhead. You're not buying inventory or anything else like that. So I think it's a perfect way for people to start and sell online.
Cool. All right. Well, for people watching this through my channel, I'll just conclude that by explaining that Benjamin is doing a 30-day challenge. So is that a video every day, 30 days? Yeah,
I'm trying to focus on, I'm doing my best to do a video every day, just kind of talking about and being transparent about my experience on merch, what's working, what's not. And hopefully connecting with more people like you, Greg, and other influencers kind of in the space. And so that's what we're working on right now.
Cool. Well, if you want to check that out, if you want to see someone else doing Amazon other than me, go check Benjamin out as well.
Appreciate it.
It's always good to get a different perspective and see someone else's experiences with things. So there you go.
Thanks. Appreciate it, my friend.
Oh yeah, thanks for talking to me. Have you got anything else you wanted to finish off with?
Yeah, I think that's it. It's just been amazing to connect, and it'll be cool to kind of follow your story and see what where you get in the next coming months, and hopefully we can share some more stories and experiences here and make some money together. So yeah,
sure. I'll be following your journey too, so I'll keep in touch.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Greg.
Cool. So I'm probably going to cut there, but if you don't mind doing a little self-contained segment on eBay quickly, is that all right?
Yeah. Sorry about is the technical issue going to be an issue for you? I'm sorry,
I'm not getting any technical issues on my end at all.
Okay, good. I think my, I hate to say this, I think my recording cut off like halfway through because my memory just like took a shitter. Sorry for that.
Worst case scenario, if you've lost it, I can send it you on my file.
Okay.
Upload it.
Cool.
It's going to be a screen mainly with your face on it, so I don't know if it would be usable, but I can send it over if you need it.
We'll see. I think I got most of that first half anyway. So anyway, yeah, ready whenever you are. Whatever you want to talk about.
Okay. How should I intro this? Okay, cool. So on this channel, I often only really talk about what I'm doing myself. So, Amazon merch. Up until now, I've got Shopify, affiliate marketing, but the channel is meant to be really about teaching you different ways that you can make money online and opening your eyes to different things. So I'm chatting to Benjamin right now, who has had success with eBay in the past, using a model that sounds interesting. So I was hoping Ben could just run us through his experiences with eBay and basically tell us how he made money on there, and then give us some tips for anyone looking to do it in the future.
Totally. First of all, Greg, thanks for having me on your channel. I really appreciate it, and glad we were able to set this up. Yeah, but I think eBay, is a really cool place to start online or get some success and some momentum. And so, just I guess a little background. I'd had an eBay account for who knows how many years, but never really used it. And about a year and a half ago, I'd been working at a tech company in Southern California, working a lot with Amazon and, online arbitrage and retail arbitrage. So just selling stuff on, the main page is through Seller Central. And we were getting so much stuff that a lot of times some of the brands that we'd buy were restricted, so we couldn't sell them. And so we just had all this kind of excess inventory just piling up, and we didn't really have the time or manpower to focus on that. So I actually kind of went to my employer at the time and said, hey, would we potentially be able to work something out, and could I sell this excess inventory, on maybe like a consignment or commission style structure on eBay or on these other channels. And so, fortunately enough, he was open to it, and we kind of did a little test period, and that actually ended up snowballing into what turned into about a year of just selling all kinds of random stuff on eBay. I mean, everything, from Air Jordans to, just little like kids' toys or kitchen goods, all of that kind of stuff. So I ended up doing, I think like 5 figures, somewhere in that range, just reselling things on eBay. So it started primarily with kind of this excess stuff that I had gotten from my employer. And I was essentially just paying him the bulk percentage of it. But I'd take like a little cut from that. But that kind of opened my eyes to just see wow, there's still a lot of traffic on eBay, and it's still a really great opportunity for people.
But how long ago was this? What was the time?
So this was in, I think that this was probably around the beginning of 2017, I want to say. Maybe like in January. I'd have to double check, but I'm pretty sure, maybe it was slightly before that, but...
about a year ago, maybe a little bit over a year.
Yeah, somewhere in that range. And so, it was totally one of those things. It was kind of slow at first, but you start to see... small successes and see oh wow, sold a $100 item today, and kind of just seeing those things, it got the momentum going. And so like I said, I mean, I was originally just buying that inventory and selling it from him, but then I just said, okay, how can I go get more inventory? How can I do my own thing? And so that's when I started really diving into kind of the weekend warrior hustle mode. And I'd just be looking, during the week, I'd be searching for different garage sales and people that I could contact even during the week, because I was working full time, right? So, and then outside of that, I was already spending my time listing that stuff that he had on eBay. So really the weekend was the only time I had to go find more inventory. And so, I ended up kind of figuring out some systems, and I got, some cool apps. There's this app, I think it's still around, I'll have to look, but Garage Sale Warrior or Road Warrior, I can't remember what it's called, but what's that?
What did the app do?
Yeah, so it pulled it would pull all of the garage sales in your area from Craigslist, and then it would route the best route between all of them to hit them efficiently. So when... It was crazy. I mean, when Saturday rolled around, there were, a lot of... I wasn't doing this every weekend, but I was doing it 3 weekends a month, probably for a solid chunk of time here. I'd get up at 6 a.m. because you have to get there early, because there's other people that are doing this, and they're really aggressive.
So I'd get up at like 6 a.m. and I'd already have, 6 or 7 garage sales like mapped out. And I just, go get cash and drive to them and just see, what I could find. And there's, a lot of different like tactics to doing this. If, you have new stuff and used, so you kind of just have to get out there and learn like what sells and what doesn't. But you'd be surprised. Like you can find some really good stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I could go on and on about it. It ended up being a really cool experiment.
But yeah, so you initially had a source of products through your employer.
Totally.
Like it was a complete variety of products.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing you were able to get those cheaper price than you could sell them on eBay for later on. So
yeah.
Basically, sort of buying low, selling high, I guess, was there.
Yeah.
And a source of doing that for yourself then went on to doing it through garage sales and finding cheap products that way.
Yeah.
I'm in the UK. We don't have garage sales over here. It's not really a concept that exists here.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah. You don't go around to people's houses and buy. This is what it is, right? You go to people's houses. And
yeah. Sorry, I guess I should have prefaced that a little bit. I kind of forgot that it's maybe not commonplace, but it's pretty much people post on Craigslist or just signs around town and have garage sales to sell their extra stuff. And do you guys have like flea markets or anything?
Yeah. So that's what I was about to explain. So we have these things over in the UK called car boots. And what happens is you have a single location where all the sellers drive to on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning, and it's called a car boot sale because typically they would open the boot of their car, the back of their car.
Yeah.
Out the back of their car. So my nan, believe it or not, she's in her mid-70s now, and she makes a lot of money through eBay doing just that, like the English version of what you were doing in America, going to car boots on the weekend, buying a ton of things that over time she's developed an intuition of what's going to sell and what won't sell.
No way. That's awesome.
And reselling them, and she's like an old age pensioner doing this. So it really is an income source available for anyone, I guess.
Totally. And I think like one of the things I wanted to touch on too is at the time I was making like a salary through my job, but that was kind of covering the basic expenses, and I didn't have a lot of money to really start a side hustle or start anything and buy, I couldn't buy a lot of inventory to sell on Amazon, like a private label myself. So, I think that eBay and doing kind of this method and going through, the garage sale route or whatever is extremely viable, even if you just have, $50. Like you can go, maybe you don't see the big picture yet, but just like think small and start from there and say like, yeah, $50 cash. That forces you to be like even more diligent about what you buy and really like think about it. So maybe you go out and find just a few things and you create your eBay account fresh, but you post those with the goal to maybe double your money or whatever it is. And that's totally doable. Like just to give you an example, like there was one day I went out and I had a budget that day. I was going to spend about $100. That was kind of like the budget that I had. And I had like 4 garage sales and an estate sale plans, which in estate sales, if someone maybe passes away or something, the family kind of goes and sells like a lot of this stuff. They're just trying to get rid of it. Yeah. I went out that day with $100. I ended up only making it to the estate sale and 2 garage sales. And the first garage sale I went to was this family was moving, and so they were trying to downsize and get rid of a lot of stuff. I bought 2 pairs of used shoes from her, which I only bought. I don't know anything about women's shoes, but she was like, oh, like these shoes are really high end. Like you have to get them. Turns out they were Jimmy Choos. I don't know if you are familiar with that brand. Yeah, and then there was one other really high end brand I should know. Anyway, but she told me she bought them for $300, $400 a pair, and she's like, yeah, you can just have them for $5 each. And I was like, yeah, like I don't know, like because they were used. She'd worn them, and I was like, I don't know if this is really going to sell, but sure, $5. Bought them. I sold the next day 1 pair for $100, and then 1 pair for like $50 or $80. So that was from that garage sale. And then the estate sale I went to, and I got like a box of like Legos for $5, which people go nuts for Legos. eBay, it is insane. They go nuts for Legos. So I sold those for like, I don't know, $30 or something. And then I got a Kindle, which was the guy gave me for $1, just in like an Amazon Kindle. and I sold that for $25. So I think I spent only like $20 and I got like a really solid return on my investment for that day. So
I've heard Gary Vaynerchuk talking about this, sourcing products either free or cheap, and he's spoken about Facebook Marketplace and how people list things on there that it's free as long as you go along and pick them up, like a dinner table or something in the house, you can take it away for free. And also in the UK, we have things called charity shops, which I think you call thrift stores over there.
Okay, yeah.
And your method of using garage sales, like there is a way of getting things really cheap, and the traditional thing of buying low and selling high is really possible these days.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, obviously testament to it from your experiences.
Yeah, I haven't really used the Facebook Marketplace too much, but because I don't really do a lot of the whole like eBay thing as much anymore. But yeah, like I think a lot of people are having like still a lot of success with that, and so yeah, I think it's a great place to start.
Yeah, and I'm really happy you spoke about that, because I think with making money online, I think a lot of people get drawn into like this lifestyle or this pursuit, and they see these ads on YouTube and stuff, with the big numbers, set up your Shopify store and make thousands a month, or
totally
be a millionaire. And I think they jump right into that level, but really there's different stages to making money online, and the method you said with Amazon with eBay, that's a really simple, easy stage that you can just sort of dip your toes into this way of living and sort of use to learn things for free. You don't have to make, with a Shopify store, you've got a $29 a month investment just to have the store live, and then you're paying for all these other like plugins and advertisements on Facebook and stuff, and FBA and Amazon Seller, you've got your monthly like fee, but there are a lot lower risk, lower price like routes to get to making money online that you can sort of start with and explore. So like you said, eBay being one of them, also Amazon Merch, which we both use, it's completely free to get on the program, and
yeah,
get customers completely for free, and that gives you the platform where you can learning about keyword research and about patterns and trends and what people buy and what don't. So I'm really happy you were able to come along and talk and just show that there is another option for people to sort of get into this world of making money online, and they don't have to jump in feet first into like the high level stuff. They can learn with some low risk, low price methods.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, one last thing I'll touch on is just, I think, with that being said, is that the whole getting into eBay and just getting started and doing something leads you to other opportunities. So eBay is what ultimately led me, more into kind of the Amazon space, which led me more into Merch by Amazon. And that's kind of what I've been doing now. So I think just like, if you don't know where to start, just pick, one thing, one kind of strategy or place, and just jump in there and see what happens. You're going to learn something one way or the other. So keep it simple for yourself and just, follow one business model to start with and try it out for yourself.
Sure. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of keeping it simple and focusing on one thing at a time. And when I first started with this channel and trying to make money online, I had thing, people say shiny object syndrome, where you're jumping from one shiny thing to the next thing that looks exciting before you're really mastering and completing the thing you started on.
Yeah.
So I completely agree that there's such a high value in sticking with something, having consistent long-term effort at one thing. You really start to see the rewards like later on down the line. So I'm happy to hear you agree with that.
Yeah. I was going to say, was Shopify kind of the thing that you jumped in with first? Was that your...
I think, yeah, Shopify was probably my first jump into e-commerce, making money online. Yeah.
Awesome.
And I stuck with that for, I think it's like 9-10 months, and I learned a lot about that. So, and I learned enough as well to know that a lot of the claims people were making on YouTube, these gurus,
sure.
I learned enough to know that a lot of this stuff was BS, and there was a lot of fake stuff being put out there. So even if you don't have success with yourself, with like huge success with something yourself, learning about a platform and knowing the capabilities and the restrictions of a platform is going to help you make a decision whether to stick with it or to move on to something else. So you should definitely stay with something, long term, and put your efforts into one thing.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. All right, man. In the interest of time, I'm going to cut it here. But
cool.
I really appreciate you for chatting to us about eBay. And if you want to plug your YouTube channel, go ahead and on the outro. But yeah, thanks Ben. Any words?
Appreciate it. Yeah, no, nothing crazy. Maybe I'll just give you you can put the link in the description of my channel if you want. And, but yeah, I appreciate you having me and just kind of excited to keep following your story and your successes. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Cool. All right. We'll stay in touch. Thanks for your time.
Yeah. Talk to you soon, Greg.
All right, sweet. I'm gonna stop recording now.
Cool. That was solid.
Huh?
That was solid.
Yeah, that was a good session. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that last bit about eBay, I think my audience are gonna really like that. Like I said, thanks for that.
Yeah. I hope I covered enough and you got what hopefully is it provides some value for you guys too. So.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's just planting a nugget of an idea in someone's head, I think it's just great to talk about things and show people what's available. So
absolutely.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for now.